A very good morning from the West County Hotel, Ennis, County Clare, in beautiful Ireland. It's the semi-finals of the Women's World Championships. Tasneem Solomons of South Africa taking on Collette Henriksen of France. This is a race to 7. "45-second shot clock, 1 extension per frame for each player. And we will have both semi-finals, one after the other. Second one will be on straight after this, which will feature Northern Ireland's Emma Cunningham taking on France's Sabrina Brunet. So the French heavily stacked in both semis. Two of their great players. And one of them sat having to watch in the crowd. Marion Jude is out there. She went out early doors, surprisingly. Tasneem has dodged some bullets. She's not played at her sparkling best by any stretch of the imagination, but she's still in. She's had to really battle. And this is what I mean. She has been missing a few balls here and there, but nobody's managed to capitalise. So, defending world champion sits down. She's already won the Masters this week as well, I have to say. And again, not at her best, so you can tell how good a player she is. Tasneem Solomons beat Ashley Dinsmore 7-4 in the quarters final. Collette Henriksen getting here by way of a 7-5 victory over Wales's 𝗪𝗏 Davies, which many would consider that a surprise. 𝗪𝗏 Davies, of course, one of the big favourites here. Well, it's a bit of a sketchy first frame. Henriksen called. Loss of turn. So Collette now just probably played its red off the yellow into the centre pocket. Handy shot, also puts Solomons' yellow safe at the bottom of the table. This is the key ball. Roll this in, and the other two are absolutely sat over the pockets. That is in, and it will be the French lady, Collette Henriksen. It looks like landing the first frame. Neatly done by Collette Henriksen. And in goes the 8-ball, and France land the first blow.
Tasneem Solomons breaks off in frame number 2. It's Stephen Jameson here with you alongside Tony Holgate this morning. Semi-finals of the women's singles. Tasneem with first chance, and it's a pretty decent chance as well. I think it's been pretty safe to say that despite the fact, I say this with an enormous grain of salt considering where we're all at, but despite the fact that Tasneem is the reigning world champion and of course the newly minted World Masters champion, I think it's probably safe to say that she's not firing on all cylinders. As you've not been with us all week may think that's a simply mad thing to say, but for as good as Tasneem is, not a slight on her ability, I just feel like she's not been at her free-flowing best, and therefore for a lot of the last week or so, she's been relying on B game power and almost aura, it feels like, trying to bully opponents out of matches. It's been successful. She's got here. She won the Masters. She's in the semis of the Worlds. But against a canny operator like Collette Henriksen, just wonder if Tasneem has to find something close to her best game.
A ball in hand, placed down by Solomons. See Tasneem putting a bit of side on that cue ball there, and I'll tell you what, that's not far enough up the table. She needed to be straight on this so she could run that cue ball past those yellows and get on the black into the bottom right. And now she has no choice but to play it in the middle, but she's got to take the cue ball off that left-hand side rail, off the top rail, and hope and pray that she can get through the traffic of those yellows to get behind this black ball.
in goes the red, all on the cue ball. How's the leave? It's pretty good from Tasneem Solomons. We
Yeah, it's a
mentioned
super
second
shot.
ago, Tony, that she would need to play somewhere close to her A game to get this semi-final one. Well, that was an A game kind of shot from Tasneem.
Superb. As Tasneem gets her mini extension out, puts on the end of her cue so she doesn't have to use the rest. Marion Jude in the background. Emily Fesquet and Geraldine Champigny. They're all there to support Collette Henriksen as Tasneem. That's a super finish in the end.
Fantastic.
1-1. You know, it's pretty quick and evident how good she was. When we saw a couple of early rounds, you know, I thought, yeah, I can see where the potty, you know, great potty. But then when you actually see her in a longer match, then you think, wow, you know, this lady can play. But she's had to rely a lot this season on digging herself out of holes with her potting ability, because some of her sort of the tactical exchanges and that have not, mind you, she's not that big on the tactics, but she's lost the cue ball a lot. Maybe it's these tables when, you know, because they're different now. And that cloth's very slick, but for the better, the great tables, and I don't know how much the South Africans have played on the Ras on Apollo. But that shot to get on the 8-ball just a second ago was really, really classy. And there she only leaves herself the option of one shot out of those 5 yellows, really. It's going to be the cut down into the bottom left. I feel she's got to come into that little bunch, the little pack there in the middle of the table. She's got 2 yellows that need to be dislodged. She certainly get one out with her next shot. Well, she's potted the ball, but she's not gone into the 2 balls that are stuck in the middle, and now she's running out of shots here. Not even a double. All she has pot-wise is a very, slightly thin cut into the bottom left. What she's staring at now, when she's sort of stretching across the table. But again, there's no point in potting that ball, because the cue ball's just going to go into the reds at the top of the table, and she's not going to dislodge anything. Might just play it, leave it over the pocket, pull back a bit. Not playing the pot, just going to tap into this. Yep, nothing else really she could do. You know exactly where she's going to be next, though, because Collette Henriksen will tap her right behind that red that she's next to. So, leaving that cue ball down there, Solomons basically said, please snooker me. They want to be snookered. Because that was the only shot that Collette Henriksen could play in reality.
Yeah, and Colette's never going to need any encouragement to go to war in the trenches, so to speak.
Nope, not at all. Vastly experienced Collette Henriksen. I think Colette's having a little go at these. She has an angle here. She can put this red into the top left-hand corner. I mean, she too has a similar problem that Solomons has with those two balls stuck together in the middle of the table, but she could knock them out here. Went for it. And unfortunately for Collette, went through that gap. I just wondered if she could have played that just top spin on the left-hand side and come off the side rail and come through the gap and hit those two balls. I don't think she'll go any further in this finish. So I think she'll just pull back again. Plays the safety and puts Tasneem back behind the red. That yellow gun behind the 8 there now makes Collette slight favourite now to win this frame on the reds. The advantage that Collette has is those two balls that are stuck together, and they have been throughout this whole frame. Colette's red will go into that middle, whereas Tasneem's yellow doesn't go anywhere. Well, it does now because she's bumped them out. But where is the cue ball going? And that is not ideal at all for Collette Henriksen. Just left herself only seeing that red on the left-hand rail.
Yeah, it's a disaster for Collette.
Extension call.
Shot that Collette could play here. She could play that red off the right-hand side rail and flick into the other red. Maybe have a go, but still a bit tricky. Tasneem's got herself into a slightly better position. I think she's going to try and stick her behind the red. That's going to leave a gap.
So cue ball in hand for Tasneem Solomons. And a brilliant opportunity to take the lead at 2-1.
That is not the direction she wanted the cue ball to go in, and she has put herself right behind the red. The only good thing here is that Solomons can come straight off one cushion into the 8-ball, try and knock it in the top right-hand corner. But if she doesn't get this and the cue ball comes off the rail, it will present Collette Henriksen with a great chance.
Yeah, even early on, it's a massive error from Tasneem. Can she salvage it? Twice across, no.
Oh,
long way away.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, she's trying to have her cake and eat it. But Collette Henriksen now ball in hand. Sure, she'll just put it behind the red that's near the middle. Just drop that in there. Leave an angle on the next one at the bottom of the table. Cue ball up. Well, I'm surprised she's taking this in the corner. The easiest shot is to just roll it in the middle and still leave. You can still leave that angle to screw straight up. Then again, the 8 is not in a great position for Solomons. So the angle that Colette's left herself is screwed to the left-hand side of the table. Just wants to be short of the red, but not too short. It's one of those. Don't want to be overrunning this because you'll have the wrong angle. That wants to sit down.
Yeah, she's okay. She can just push it through. I think regarding your question, Tony, about the first red, I think it all comes down to, obviously it all comes down to personal preference with your pattern, but also with Tony really kicks my headphones off somehow. But it also comes down to personal preference in terms of how you want to strike the cue ball. You know, does she fancy a little dainty drop in the middle, or does she want to punch through into the corner? I think it was the latter. But speaking of dainty little drop-ins,
yeah, this is certainly not a gimme. Very, very tough shot here for Henriksen. We've seen these left over the bag many a time, but not this time.
Confident.
That was a really, really good shot from Collette Henriksen. You should be prosecuted for making people play at that time. You should be against the law.
And Tony Holgate there with
my feelings on playing it early in the morning. Well, yeah.
I think, Tony, what I often think about you
I don't really want to know.
is I feel like you sometimes struggle to tell us how you really feel.
This is true. I've always been known to hold back.
Tony, hold back.
That was my name in a previous life when I was an international hockey player.
Collette first in at these yellows.
Well, Collette Henriksen wasting little time in frame number 4 as she goes into overdrive. A little bit straight on this shadow, but she will settle for it. She's only just got to drop this in, really, leave herself the black into the right-hand centre as we look at the table. In goes the yellow. Collette, she's just one of those players that just works so hard at the table. And in goes the black, and that is 3-1 now to Collette Henriksen. 3 of the French ladies will be, there are 3 world champions, wouldn't they?
That's already a world champion.
Must be a different discipline.
Yeah. I must stress, I'm not sure it's an IEPF world champion, but Collette is 100% already a world champion.
Well,
Admittedly, we can all agree there's probably, inverted commas, too many world champions in the world of 8-ball because of all the different sort of...
a bit like the boxing.
Yeah, very, very much alike. Yeah, I will just check that though, because I have a feeling Colette's been around a long time. It wouldn't surprise me if she took down one of these. I know there's a few of you watching at home probably saying, I know this already. Well, listen, Amy Beecham. Steady yourself. Sabria is here.
She is there.
Supporting Collette. She'll be on next.
I thought she might have just kept away from the arena in preparation for her match with Emma Cunningham. But no, she's come down to support her teammate.
No, Colette's not won an IEPF world title. I
Could have told you that, but then you just carry on your little road you're going down, and I'll leave you to it.
I just wanted to confirm straight from the horse's mouth, which is the wonderful
Internet.
IEPF official website. Which is definitely...
You're like one of those doctors when you go to the doctor and you tell them what the problem is, and they look at you like you're from outer space and then Google it, and then give you some tablets and send you on your way.
I have a feeling you quite often go to the doctors and they look at you
Not
like you're
for
from
those
outer
sorts of
space.
things.
Okay. Okay.
I used to go to the pool doctor. That was all to do with my cue action. Didn't work very well either.
What did he
One
prescribe
sat
you?
here.
What did he prescribe you?
A
Retirement?
different cue. and then retirement. Gave me a job at the butcher's instead. Head in the window with an apple in my mouth. So Collette Henriksen really is playing the power game here. He's actually thinks, right, I'll tell you what, Tasneem, I'm going to fight fire with fire.
Well, this sneaks through. I'd assumed the whole time she was leaving a double, but this must sneak through. It does. Look at that. This is 4-1. This is the best finish of the session so far from Collette Henriksen, who's starting to roll here. That's lovely. Tasneem Solomons already with a little bit of work to do.
She said actually at the start of the week, did Emma, she said, I feel like I can win it. I really do. She feels she's playing some of her best pool, and the pool which landed her world titles before. And that is a great break there from Solomons, and she doesn't half need it right now.
Red balls in play.
There's a case for yellows as well as reds here. I mean, that is obviously everything's about that quartet of balls, top right-hand corner. But as I sort of look at them from the overhead here, I looked at them earlier, well, Tasneem's gone in off and given ball in hand to Collette. I preferred yellows because I thought it would have been easier to pot the yellow with the two at the top up the side rail and then kick into the other yellow, but would push the two reds out of the way and the other three are tappings. But I'll tell you what, Colette's going to play the shot right now. In my opinion, I think she should bring the cue ball away from that cushion and play it in an angle where you're cutting it in and the cue ball coming back off the rail. But she does have this little angle, and I know what she wants to do. She wants to kick into it, but she wants to screw the cue ball back as well. Collette also has a mini extension for her cue, so she doesn't have to use the rest. Well, the ball's come out, but where's she going to land it? That's pretty good. In fact, that's perfect. So, Collette Henriksen with another opening. She's just checking how tight that yellow is, top right next to the red. My initial thoughts is it goes. Collette having a good study. It might be one of those sort of shots where you need to be at a particular angle to actually get that ball into the pocket. I think she probably wants to be on the bulk line with the cue ball, so where her yellow is on the left, she wants to be a little bit in front of that. And there you see the way Collette is just, where she's standing and she took one step to the right, then a step to the left, and she's actually looking right. This is where I want to be for that last yellow. So right on the bulk line. And that looks perfect. Gets the cue ball anywhere near that red near the middle bag, and she can play the cut with the 8 ball into the centre. Just be a little bit careful if she digs this too deep. We've seen a few of the top players go screw these cue balls straight in middles. Sean Story did it yesterday.
I think that's probably about perfect, to be honest.
She played it very well. It's a little bit, it's a slight skinny one, but
The fact that you can see the centre of the cue ball's big. If she was bridging over here, it'd be a problem, but this is routine.
Putting a bit of top on it, just worry about the cue ball again towards the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, nowhere near it.
Yeah, she's fine.
I thought she had a thinner angle than that. But this is 5-1. Been magnificent, Collette.
What a performance from Collette Henriksen so far. The world champion is on the brink.
And this lady, Collette Henriksen,
Great break.
is very good at finishing you off.
Well, Tasneem needs something to happen here. 5-1 down. Collette breaks dry. And she's on the verge of going out here. Race to 7.
Very interesting there. Tasneem electing to play safe. And I have to say, she's initiating a safety match, or safety frame, against what I consider one of the best tactical players in the women's game, with Collette Henriksen. Collette will be very at home, very happy. Okay, you want to play tight with me? I'm 5-1 up. And now you want to play my game. It was just over a week ago when I was wandering around the pool hall early in the morning after breakfast and watching a few of the players practicing, getting ready for all the start of this long World Championships. And Collette was there on a table on her own, and all she was doing was playing a cut break, racking the balls, playing this cut break, re-racking the balls over and over again. And I walked up to her, I said, enjoying yourself? And she said, I've got a new break, I'm just trying it, and I'm going to stay here for an hour. So because I want to master this because of these tables. She goes, this is a better break than the head ball break because of the 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗨 and just the way that the table is. And she was playing it and she was actually getting nothing. I went, you want to go back to your other break? She goes, no, I know it'll work. And then all of a sudden, for the next sort of 10 or 15 minutes, and I stayed there and I watched it, she started breaking and popping balls in every time. It was just a level of practice. I mean, I could never have done that. But it was literally trying to hit halfway down the second ball on a cut break, and just for an hour at least, she was just playing the same break. So it's obviously been rewarding for her. And it does go to show the level, you know, the determination and the effort that these players put in to try and capture these big prizes. Still nothing potted, but I see what Collette's doing now. She's now starting to spread the reds around. She's thinking at some point that Tasneem will leave her a shot and then she'll just go game. Whereas I think Tasneem's tactic is to just try and stop Collette potting. But that's not going to get you back into this semi-final. Yep, Solomon's had enough now. Let's pot some balls. 𝗪𝗏𝗍𝗔, the England skipper, and our friend that comes into the comment box with us.
Yeah, she's going to be with us for the second semi-final, which should be a really, really, really good game between 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏 and Emma Cunningham. Two players who aren't going to leave anything out there.
Yeah, she's looking quite happy this morning. She doesn't know that she's drawn the short straw and she'll be with me for the next match. But I'm sure somebody will inform her, which might make her depart from the room. But
I was going to say, I hope that's a late bit of information.
Yeah, so I do as well. Poor Barbara, stuck with me for a semi-final in the World Championships. Then again, I feel sorry for whoever's got your company during that hour or so. Or you were alone. Alone
so.
with...
Oh, I hope so. Oh, chance would be a fine thing. Tasneem Solomons may go game here. That looks like it plants. Or is she just going to be safety first?
Nope.
No, she's going to go. It's a good chance.
They're all there. She doesn't just need one frame. She needs to string, I say 3, get to 5-4, and get Collette thinking once again and wondering. Because one's... Yeah, well, you can start with one, obviously, but if you start the old exchanging frames, it needs to put a run together. But if anybody can do it, Tasneem Solomons can.
I actually think this right here is Tasneem's most important visitor table of the entire tournament. 5-1 down, semi-final. Excellent chance. Misses them. And she's all but out, really, at 6-1. Gets them, and she's back in the hunt. The longer she can keep Collette off the hill, the the better, stays in the game. But to do that, she has to take these. That's a nice shot. It's a little fiddly, which doesn't really sort of, I would lightly suggest, properly suit Tasneem's game. She prefers to be more of a power player. This is a little bit delicate and intricate. 8-ball plays big here.
Yeah, just pop this red into the left-hand centre and just stun the cue ball into the 8-ball and sit on the red into the bottom right-hand corner.
Goes underneath it, same outcome.
Yeah, it's okay.
We'll be bridging here, though. And immediately, that's quite good experience, that, from Tasneem. Start of the 45-second shot clock, test the bridge. How much do I need to stretch? It's quite a bit. Oh, that's horrible. This, all of a sudden, is so missable. She doesn't like it at all, and you can see why. She's called her extension.
Yeah, that's why if you nudge into the 8-ball off that last shot, you haven't got this problem.
Massive shot. Brilliant shot.
Yeah, well played.
Tasneem really isn't the biggest. She's only about 5'1", 2", maybe, if that. So that was a very, very impressive bit of cueing. And it wasn't the fact that she could just sort of jab it in, if you like. She had to punch it just to get the cue ball just to come back enough. It's not back far enough. She wanted to be near straight on this, but she's managed to hold enough to have a fairly presentable angle. You can see Collette's fingers tapping on her knee. This is all on the cue ball here. It's all on the cue ball. Oh, it's not great. Unless that 8-ball passes, and I don't think it does.
I don't think it does. I think Tasneem...
She's tried to hold on the yellow there.
She's looking at the cut. Oh. I mean, we're taking the paint off the pull ball to cut that. That is a serious cutback.
Oh, to stay in the Worlds. Tasneem Solomons.
I remember playing one of these in '96, and it was ridiculous. And I used to cut a thin ball, and I didn't think I could make it. I did make the shot. And I'll tell you what, whoa!
Oh,
She's gone for a double. I thought, well, she stood at the side of the table, looking back at the cut into the corner.
Obviously felt like it wasn't on, and
yeah,
you could argue it wasn't.
No, I do remember playing Terry Hunt and playing a very, probably wasn't quite as thin as that. I remember potting it, and I turned around to Terry, I said, there's only 2 players in the world that can play that shot, and I'm both of them.
I tell you what, though, she's so close to making that double.
Yeah, was incredibly...
Any contact on that yellow by the pocket, and that's just giving it a little poke, it needs to go in. But that could be massive. Yeah,
these 2 yellows at the top are still not... They're not a plant. They don't go individually. She's going to have to do a little bit of manoeuvring up there. I'll tell you what, she could get there now. Whether she chooses to go play a stunt shot, goes or screw the cue ball into the top right-hand cushion underneath the black ball and go into those 2 yellows. She can just run this in, leave herself around about where the blue spot is with the cue ball and play the other loose yellow into them. And she is choosing the latter. So Collette has to move these 2 yellows, but she also has to land on one. So there's a little bit. Well, we're not going to say luck, but she does need this to go in her favour. Oh, that's so. Oh, she's going to play the snooker. Well, not sure about this. I wouldn't like to just let Tasneem have a throw of the arm at this. Well, way too heavy by Collette Henriksen.
error.
Mistake there from Collette, the first one.
And some.
Just when you think, just attack it. If she'd gone into those 2 yellows, attacked it, even if they didn't come out, she still would have the option to play a safety. She just played a safety in the first place. But this black is just so needed by Tasneem.
And Colette's going to get away with it.
Really? She's got to make this plant.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, maybe not.
Got to make the plant. Tricky. If you're straight behind it, fine. But this has to be made. So you've got to aim that. The first ball has to be dead centre of the pocket of where the other yellows sat.
Brilliant.
Yep. Well, what a chance for Collette Henriksen to get on the hill against the world champion. That 8 ball, no way last year would Tasneem miss that ball.
No.
Not ever. Don't like the top spin on, but of course the Collette Henriksen cue. She looks like she's going to put top spin on, and then at the last second
Drives
changes.
down, yeah.
Yeah. This for 6-1.
Collette Henriksen is on the hill. Tasneem Solomons is on the brink.
And I can tell you, it is Marion Jude's birthday.
Ah.
Many happy returns, Marion.
Bon anniversaire.
Wow. Here he is, showing off again in multilingual Stephen Jameson.
So, Tasneem Solomons. This is it. 6-1 down. To stay in the World Championship, she must win 6 frames straight. Which is, by the way, exactly what Collette Henriksen has just done.
Red balls in play.
Hopefully this frees Tasneem up a fraction. Maybe she can just sort of just play freely, no pressure, and maybe unlock something. It's a huge ask, though. It is a huge ask.
Yeah, I mean, 6 in a row. You cannot see it in any way, shape or form.
Well, in 6 frames, Collette will get at least one chance in that time. But it's just about, Tasneem will need a bit of luck, and she'll need to play brilliantly. The first bit you can't really control. The second bit is what she's going to have to try and do. She's not been brilliant in this match. To stay in it, she's going to need to reel 6 off. She needs to put Collette under pressure. It's easy to rattle off 1, 2, 3 in quick succession. I say easy. It's possible. We see it all the time. And at that point, all of a sudden, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, Colette's looking over the shoulder, and that's when you can try and put pressure on, and that's where you can try and influence things. But at 6-1, Collette knows she's going to have multiple chances to get herself into the world final, and she's not under pressure there.
The big part of this match was at 2-1 to Collette. Collette then reeled off 2 very quick finishes, from one from the break and one from a reverse, to go 4-1. And then that sort of just got that gap, and it sort of took away the spirit from Tasneem.
Extension call.
And then, of course, Tasneem missing that long 8 ball into the corner in the last frame.
Had to start somewhere. Is it going to start here? She's left herself tricky. I think she's going to need to play into the 8-ball or the yellow here.
Yeah, the thing is, it's just the little things that have been going her way aren't anymore. Like Tasneem just put that red, but she bumped that yellow over that bottom left-hand corner as blocking. So if she's to play that red in the middle now, the pocket's blocked down in the bottom left here. These little bumps and nudges are not going the way of the South African. Although there's half a pocket there.
Oh, it's a big, big shot, this.
So the red ball will go, if she hits the red ball into the knuckle, it should bounce into the yellow and go in. So she'll be aiming for the left-hand side of that. And there you see what's
not much room
Solomons
there.
has presented to her is that.
This to stay in the World Championships.
Pretty much. I mean, she could play a cross double into the bottom right. I think she goes down here. You've got clear sight of it. And Solomons a year ago would knock this in without batting. She's going for the double.
This to stay alive.
𝗍𝗄𝗆 stopped it.
And the double kiss ends Tasneem's chances in this frame. Does it end her chances in this tournament?
Well, where the red's finished is ideal for Collette because she can run up into that top left-hand corner now with all her yellows and she can snooker Tasneem to her heart's content and pick and choose when she goes. And I'll tell you what, she might be going now.
Yeah, for me, Colette's got to go. I think hopefully she's learned her lesson from the last frame when she had that great chance to finish off yellows, had the two slightly stuck together and just sort of messed about a little bit to go and, you know, play a snooker when she didn't really have to, you know, be aggressive, get them open, and then if it goes wrong, you can pull back. Her intention was always to be defensive, whereas this, I think you've got to seize the moment, you've got to grab it. She can taste the World Championship final.
And what's good about Colette's game is that she is so clinical as well in these positions. She has a wealth of experience.
She does.
Very level-headed lady.
Go a bit far. Go a little bit far. Got all the room in the world, though, to manoeuvre with.
Look where she gets, because that's her break cue she went to play that shot, which is longer than her playing cue, so it's a different one. A lot of players, like with Tasneem, just has the little mini extensions she puts on. Obviously, nobody really likes to play with the rest. The ones that come from a small snooker background will, but Collette more of a pool player.
If Colette's going bottom right here, and I think bottom right's the shot, this is cash ball for the World Championship final. I think you have to take the one to bottom right. That's the shot. That's what she's played on. Gets this. She's going to the big dance tomorrow.
Yeah, wants to steady herself. She knows how important this shot is. She's changed her mind.
Oh, it's not a great sign.
Cushion first, off the, and then into the yellow. I see. Oh no! I thought she was going to go cushion first around the back of the two of them and play them in the middle.
It's never the shot, and this is why. This is exactly why I think Collette will be thinking now, I shouldn't have done that. I knew I shouldn't have done that.
But if you're going to do that, cushion first, clip off it, and come behind the two balls.
The only way she was going to get on that ball realistically was be underneath it on the right side. To try and stun up,
that's
to
nerves.
leave herself to bottom right is such a tough shot.
It's nerves. She just didn't fancy that long. She wanted to get, I mean, let's say she got on it with the cue ball near the 8-ball. Is she that much more nearer than the pot? Not an awful lot.
And Colette's a great curious. You've got to back yourself there. She's going to play safe here, I think. And I think that's probably the play with the red so in the open. Yeah, it's a decent shot. Wants to leave those two yellows independent of each other.
I think Tasneem can pot that.
Well, yeah, she's left the edge. Oh, it's a good. She's got a top of the table, so maybe not the potting angle. So Tasneem's going to have to kick at this. She
I'm not
will
sure.
Get solid contact.
I'm not sure. I think she might be able to hit the potting edge of this.
It'll be really tight. 'Cause it's not that thin. Gonna have to get a good chunk of that red ball. Yeah, she's kicking it. There you see.
Where's the cue ball going? No, it's going to be a chance for Collette.
So Collette Henriksen, for the second time, has the chance to win it. The first time she saw the finishing line, she just got a bit frightened.
She's edgy, yeah. But
this time
natural.
there can be no mistakes.
It's natural to be like that. It was a sudden realisation, I think, for Collette that, oh, here we are. This is for me to get in the world final. Oh, I better not play that one in case I miss. But great shot.
And that's why she should back herself. Would have loved that to come back a little bit more, but
it's a plain roll in. Just roll this in. Just make sure you guide the cue ball away from that middle bag, which, to be fair, not an awful amount of side needs to be put on this. It just come back left side of the centre ball. That's in. It's there. Well, I have to say, a fabulous performance from Collette. Looked a little bit edgy a couple of seconds ago, but all in all, a commanding victory.
Collette Henriksen for the world final is there. She has knocked out the world champion Tasneem Solomons. And she celebrates with her French teammates, who may yet have even more to celebrate, with 𝗪𝘃𝗵𝗵𝗔 right there, ready to take to the stage herself in just a moment. Collette Henriksen absolutely buzzing, and she should be.